Hi folks, this is Year 1, Week 1, Lesson 2. Just trying to keep you all with some sense of where on earth we are in this crazy world at the moment. So firstly and most importantly, I hope you're all well. I hope you're not too stressed out, etc, etc. You can email me with questions if you need to, but this video is about your last part of the Changing Places module, which is the Quaternary Sector. So my favourite model, the Clark-Fisher model, on the screen. What this has done really is it's given us the framework for most of this module, and we've been working through what's been happening with the different sectors, etc, etc. And what we finally need to get onto is the Quaternary Sector that only makes this kind of sneak appearance right at the end. Just a quick reminder of why that is. You're only going to get a Quaternary Sector in a country that has developed to the extent that the quality of education is pretty good. So you can see it only comes right at the end. And also just a quick bit of revision about why it's called the Quaternary Sector. The idea is that they're named in order that jobs would have appeared in society. So primary jobs would have come first, secondary second, tertiary third, quaternary fourth. They are the kind of latest jobs. It is part of the service sector. So the idea of the service sector is you don't go to work and deal with raw materials, you don't go to work and make something, but you offer a service. So for example, teaching is a service. The difference between the tertiary and the quaternary sector is, and this is just how I understand it, really anybody with the right training could work in the tertiary sector. Anyone really could be a geography teacher, you know, with a geography degree and a teaching qualification, whatever. Quaternary sector is much more clever than that. Not everybody is capable of working in the quaternary sector. Okay, so it has another name. It's called the knowledge economy, and if you open your module booklets to page 73, you will find that that begins the start of this final section of the module. Why is it called the knowledge economy? Well, as it says there, it's an economy based on creating, evaluating and trading knowledge, not stuff, but ideas and theories and concepts. And that's kind of where the world is headed, I suppose, in some ways. Okay, so it's sometimes called the Quaternary Sector, sometimes the knowledge economy. It's the same thing. There are two sort of key concepts, really. Firstly, that people are seriously important to the knowledge economy or the Quaternary Sector, because without people, you don't have this. That's not to say that you don't need people in the primary, secondary, tertiary sector, but they're very replaceable. Like, you know, if I gave up geography teaching, you could replace me quite easily with another geography teacher. But somebody who has, for example, let me open this hyperlink, created a breathalyzer to help people diagnose cancer and other diseases, I'm not capable of developing that breathalyzer. There are very few people who would be. So it's all about the clever people that work in it. Or just to give you a completely different example, I certainly would not be capable of creating a robot, much less a robot that sweats to keep itself cool. Not very many people are capable of that level of thinking. So the knowledge economy, the quaternary sector, the staff are really important, and so they're really good at kind of looking after the staff. The staff are the sector, really. And secondly, why am I showing you a packet of cereal? Good question. The second key idea about the knowledge economy is that it clusters, and that's why you're looking at a box of Crunchy Nut clusters. The whole point of that cereal is that you get lumps of flakes and peanuts and whatever all lumped together. The 21st sensory knowledge economy likes to cluster together so that you get different companies locating near one another. And the idea of that is, if you come back to this idea of knowledge, which is central to the Quaternary Sector, people work best collaboratively, i.e. we're quite a social species and we bounce ideas off each other quite well. And also people are quite competitive. So if you have a cluster where you've got lots of different companies that are kind of roughly doing similar things, if they're near each other, the staff of those companies can collaborate, so they can bounce ideas off each other, and they're in competition. The other beauty is, as you can see from here, you can share expensive equipment. So some of the equipment needed to do cancer research, for example, or to develop robots or high-tech software. Some of that equipment is going to be pretty expensive, and there might be some sharing that can happen. Okay, so they're the two really important themes. People are massively important in the Quaternary Sector, and secondly, the 21st century knowledge economy, or the Quaternary Sector, whichever name you want to call it, tends to cluster. Right, now the way that you learn this essentially is through 3 case studies. So I'm just going back now to the inside of the front cover of your module, and you'll see right at the bottom of the table we've got clusters: Cambridge Science Park, Bangalore, Bath and Bristol. So you've got 3 case studies of this. Cambridge Science Park is your most important, okay? So in terms of research and time and all of that, if you could put more work into Cambridge than you do the other 2, that would be lovely. The final few pages of the module are where you've got loads of information about those 3 case studies. So yet again, what I've tried to do is give you the information that you need for these case studies, and then you don't really have to do much research. You can just put it into a format that works for you. So put it in your case study book, put it on revision cards, do whatever it is that you've chosen to do. But these are your last 3 case studies for changing places. All I'm going to do is sort of roughly introduce them to you. Cambridge Science Park starts on page 73 of your module booklet, and there are 4 pages about it, so you've got loads. So if we just click through some photos a minute, you'll see it's all very nice. We are in the rural-urban fringe, ladies and gents. So the land is cheap, you can go low density, you can have some lovely landscaping. But notice, you know, clearly they're trying to look after their employees. This is a nice place to work. They are trying to make it a nice environment where people feel comfortable and happy and relaxed and all of that sort of stuff. But we are in the rural-urban fringe. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to... Oh, that worked last time. Hang on. Sorry, ladies and gents. I'm going to send you this PowerPoint so you can absolutely have a look at these websites yourself if you need to. I think from memory this only works in Google Chrome, this website, not in Internet Explorer. And what you can have a look at is you can have a look at where technology companies thrive. So the idea of clustering. It was established in 1930. You can see lots of facts and figures. So it was started by Cambridge University, and that should be no surprise whatsoever, ladies and gents. If you think about it, the knowledge economy, we've already established that that is the kind of job that not everybody is capable of doing. Where do you find some of the cleverest people in the UK? Cambridge University. So you tend to find that these clusters are near really top-notch unis. This is no coincidence whatsoever. So it just talks, many are working on potentially life-changing technologies, from personalised medicine to non-invasive cancer to AI, defence, connectivity. you can see that they're doing some pretty spectacular stuff. And you know, you could navigate around, see if you recognise the name of any companies, for example. Let's have a look at the sectors. So let's, sorry, I scrolled too fast then. I think I wanted, yes, life sciences. So this is kind of medical stuff. Healing and feeding the world. Well, never has that felt more important than right now, hey? So you can see the kind of stuff that they're doing. All right, so this is your main case study, please. And there's 4 pages of information in the module booklet to support you with that. The second case study, which has got, 3.5 pages in the module booklet, is Bangalore, or really, to be politically correct, you should call it Bengaluru. I'll explain that name change another time when I see you face to face. This is another cluster. This time it's in India, and this is an IT cluster. And essentially it's full of IT companies that bounce ideas off each other, collaborate, compete. It's exactly those principles, but it just proves that it's not always in more developed countries. India is actually quite at the forefront of a lot of IT stuff. And then, much closer to home, there is a creative cluster in Bath and Bristol. And in the module booklet, there are 2 pages about Bath and Bristol. Remember, you do not need to put quite so much time and energy into Bengaluru and Bath, Bristol. Most of your time and energy is going into Cambridge. This one's just quite interesting because it's not very far away. You might have some kind of experience of it. What we mean by a creative cluster, this is about graphics, film, art, television, theatre, that kind of stuff. This is where Aardman Animations are. The BBC Natural History unit is in Bristol, I think. I'm just reading from the module booklet now. This area has won 14 BAFTAs and 4 Oscars. It's ranked in the UK's top 10 creativity hotspots. And it's just proof that these knowledge economies are quite varied. We've got Cambridge Science Park, which is very sciencey. We've got Bengaluru, which is very IT based, and this is a completely different kind of cluster. But you still need knowledge. You need people who are creative and have lots of ideas, which unfortunately is certainly not me. Okay, so that is your final bit of new information, if you like, for the Changing Places module, and it also concludes all of your case studies for this module, which, because I got cut short yesterday, you probably didn't hear. If you could aim, please, to still get your Changing Places case studies done by the 3rd of April, because I know life is a bit weird and disorganised, but I am going to start teaching you coasts anyway, because we can't afford not to, and I don't want people to sort of, you know, give up and get too far behind. I know it's a bit strange. Keep at it, and I'm sure it'll be fine. So that's all of your all of your Changing Places case studies. I'm going to do 2 other videos this week. One of them is going to be like a summary of Changing Places, a little bit of revision, but I think in light of current events, going back over it and linking it all together could be quite useful. So that will be your 3rd video. And then your 4th video of this week will be looking at some exam questions at the back of the booklet. As ever, keep questions coming by email, ladies and gents. You are very welcome to do that. I check as often as I possibly can. Yeah, see you for other videos later in the week. Bye.